Thank you for tuning in to S.M.S. Welcome back to episode 2. Let me first wish you all God's peace this morning. My name is Queen and I'm reaching out to you from Surprise, Arizona. I want to apologize for the delay in episode 2 because I did a video and I ended up deleting it. I didn't want any misunderstanding about the things that I was sharing that I will be sharing again. However, I just wanted to first say that all of the abuse or mistreatment from my mother or my father and the betrayal of my two sons, I did not want the focus to be any of them. The focus is my testimony. The focus is God's healing power and his ability to keep me in my right mind. That is my focus. So as I discuss some of the hardships and trials and tribulations, it's for the purpose of being relatable, that if you're going through in any part of the world, any part of the country, that it is his sufficiency that got me through. And the word sufficient means enough. Anytime that you're a single mom or just a woman, period, if you're doing it by yourself or if you have a husband and you feel single, if you have no companionship, just life itself is a challenge. God is still enough. So I wanted to start off by saying that because I just didn't want a misunderstanding. I'm thankful to God for the womb of my mother, no matter the mistreatment. Have I always been in that space? Absolutely not. I have come a long way from how I used to think. Because when you're going through, you can't see or even seem to appreciate any of what you are enduring at the time. So let me just say this. All things work for good for those who love the Lord. I couldn't see that in that moment. And even though the only people that don't have any problems are the people that are dead, if you're alive, there are other challenges and oppositions and struggles that are waiting for us. But the value of some of it is what has made us all who and what we are now, depending on how we handle it. I think there's an old saying, 10% is what goes on and 90% is how you handle it. So let's start off by my mother being pregnant with me. My mother wanted a boy child, and she ended up praying for a boy and even gave me a boy's name while she was carrying me. So needless to say, I'm marinating in not being good enough and rejection and low self-esteem and low self-worth. And that had begun to be my life, or in terms of my thought process about who and what I was, as a young girl, so getting beat with extension cords, beaten in water or being beat and put in water, so very painful. And the reality of not having that mother and daughter relationship, I think it had affected me pretty much throughout my entire life. But it took me well into my mid-30s, and I have to credit the thought that came to me only from God himself, because I began to realize how important it was to live in the reality of what it is and not in what it should be. You could spend a whole large portion of your life trying to hold on to what it should be and not deal with life the way that it is. So I've always wanted to have that relationship, and I was willing to take any abuse, any mistreatment to have that mother and daughter relationship. Until one day I had to say, what it should be and what it is, those are two different things. Let's give you an example. Men should take care of their children, but the reality is some of them don't. Men should not disrespect women, but the reality is they do. Women should not be calling each other bitches, but the reality of this world is this is what we do. So I'm hoping that sharing some of the struggles and the trials and tribulations and the hardships, we can begin to really learn how to see each other. In the words of Iyanla Vanzant, I am not my sister's keeper, I am my sister. So if we can begin to see each other as flesh of each other's flesh and bone of each other's bone, maybe we won't be so quick to disrespect one another and, not value one another. I don't have a lot of time to spend in this video this morning, but I will recap everything that we discussed and leave these words before I go. Really begin to learn who we are as women and really begin to see each other as a part of ourselves and to really apply whatever it is about your faith, because this is not about what you call yourself and what color you are, because there's only one God. But however you reach him, however you get to him, think about our moments when we go to church or when we have our spiritual downtime or we go into the religious houses of organizations, whether it's Muslim or Christian or Jehovah's Witness, whatever your walk is. Just be conscious and mindful that we should want to apply a little different behavior to our lives as we say that we have a love for God and the Creator. Start today by just not seeing yourself as a bitch. Starting today by not seeing the woman that you work with as a bitch. How about seeing yourself as a woman of God? And whether she's reflecting that or not, see her as the same. Be the example. Tune in later to episode 2, part 2, because I have to go now. But I wanted to send a heartfelt apology for the delay. I want you to tune in as I finish the testimony of abuse and an absent father and the betrayal of my 2 sons. But I wanted to leave us with those encouraging words and just learning how to see women as a part of yourself. Be more loving, be more kind, and not be so disrespectful. Apply what you believe to your life. Let's start in taking baby steps, me included, to reflect what we say we believe in. Because really, whatever you do in your actions, that's your faith. God bless. Thank you for tuning in to S.M.S. Peace.